Hey everyone, and welcome. This devotional is brought to you by the You Need Faith in Jesus team. Today we are diving into what is, one of the most powerful Psalms in the entire Bible, Psalm 32. It's really King David's personal story, and it maps out this incredible journey from the crushing heavy weight of hidden sin all the way to the freeing joy of God's forgiveness. So let's get right into this powerful lesson.
So David kicks things off in Psalm 32, verse 3, and listen to how he puts this. He says, "When I kept silence, my bones waxed old through my roaring all the day long." That is such a physical description, isn't it? Can you even imagine a guilt so heavy that it feels like it's literally aging you from the inside out? That's the kind of deep physical pain he's talking about here, all caused by a spiritual burden.
All right, so let's start right where David does, with this heavy, heavy burden of unconfessed sin. See, before he ever found freedom, he first had to go through this profound misery of trying to hide what he'd done from God.
And you've got to understand, this isn't some abstract idea or theological concept. This is a firsthand account. Many believe that King David, the sweet psalmist of Israel, wrote this psalm right from the depths of his personal pain after his terrible sin with Bathsheba. You can read about it in 2 Samuel. He knew this agonizing feeling intimately. And the effects? They're just devastating. David describes it as a heavy physical burden, his bones literally waxing old. He talks about this constant internal roaring and a deafening spiritual silence, feeling God's hand just heavy upon him. It's this feeling of being completely and totally crushed, and it impacts every single part of your being. But, and this is the really important part, the story does not end in that dark and miserable place. Not at all. Now we get to the turning point, the choice to confess. This one decision changed absolutely everything for David. And honestly, it holds the key to our freedom too. There's a little note at the beginning of Psalm 32. It's labeled a Maschil. Now that's a Hebrew term, and it basically means this is an instructive psalm. So David didn't just write this to get his own feelings out. He wrote it to teach us a vital lesson, using his own painful journey as a roadmap for all of us. So what was David's solution? Well, it was actually really simple, but that doesn't mean it was easy. In verse 5, he makes up his mind. He says, "I acknowledged my sin unto thee, and mine iniquity have I not hid. I said, I will confess my transgressions unto the Lord." That's it. He stopped hiding. He stopped making excuses. And he just made that courageous choice to agree with God about his sin. And just look at the difference here. The transformation it's just night and day. Before he confessed, you have this heavy burden, his bones waxing old, just total spiritual misery. But after, he found an instant pardon. His transgression was forgiven, and he discovered what he calls true blessedness.
And this all leads us to the best part of the whole story, the incredible result of that confession. We're talking about the overwhelming joy, the relief, and the freedom that just rushes in when you receive God's grace.
And the psalmist makes it so clear that this pardon was instantaneous. Just listen to the second half of verse 5. "And thou forgavest the iniquity of my sin." The moment, the very second David confessed, that pardon was granted. Forgiveness isn't something you earn or something that gets delayed. It is an immediate, incredible gift of God's grace. And this is what it all boils down to. This is the incredible truth that actually kicks off the whole psalm. Right in verse 1, David exclaims, "Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered." And this blessedness he's talking about, it's not just about feeling happy. It's a deep, settled spiritual state of joy that only comes from being made right with God, having your slate totally wiped clean. Okay, so that's David's story. But what does this ancient psalm mean for you right here, right now? Well, let's break down the practical path to freedom that Psalm 32 lays out for every single one of us. It's really a clear 4-step path to that freedom. Step 1 is to acknowledge the weight. Just be honest with yourself and with God about that burden you're carrying. Step 2, confess the sin. Specifically, sincerely, just tell God what you've done, holding nothing back. Step 3 is to receive the pardon. And this is a huge step of faith, simply accepting the complete forgiveness that God offers through the sacrifice of Jesus. And finally, step 4, walk in joy. You get to start living in that incredible freedom that comes from a clear conscience before God. The most beautiful thing about all of this? It's accessibility. This isn't some exclusive path just for spiritual giants like King David. No way. This journey from misery to joy
From a heavy burden to a true blessing, it's available to every single person who is willing to take that simple, courageous step of confession.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this question, one that comes right out of David's own journey. After seeing the clear path from agony to absolute joy, what weight are you ready to release today by bringing it to God in honest confession?